Unity. What is it? What is it not? Is it really a necessity? And just how important is it? Let's talk about it. Hey, this is Off the Cuff, and I'm Steve from TorahFamily.org. This is going to be a short teaching, but an equally important teaching just the same. To start off here, I need to say that I'm all about unity. However, the unity that I'm thinking of is probably not the same unity that you're thinking of. I know there are many movements out there with efforts in trying to get people on the same page. And I get the endeavor in trying to accomplish this and truly appreciate all their efforts. However, there are some out there that say they're trying to get unity in the body of Messiah, but what they don't say is how their goal is really just wanting you to believe what they believe. First, we must understand there will be no unity on beliefs until Yeshua returns. Let me say that again. There will be no unity on beliefs until Yeshua returns. While I believe it's important to have right doctrine in our own personal belief system, at the same time, I don't believe many things are salvational as others try to make them. Yes, there are what I'd call absolutes for the faith. The most important being, do you believe Yeshua is Messiah? To me, that's the utmost foundation for the kingdom. And while there are different faiths, beliefs, or views that I personally stay away from, that doesn't mean there isn't grace for these people in their walk. Look at your own life. Look at the journey He's brought you through. And you know He's still not done with you. It's so important to give that same grace to others as Yahweh gave it to you back then and is still giving it to you today. That's why it's so important to work your own salvation with fear and trembling, as noted in Philippians chapter 2. Verse 12 says, "Therefore, my dear friends, as you have always obeyed, not only in my presence, but now much more in my absence, continue to work out your salvation with fear and trembling. For it is God who works in you, to will and to act according to His good purpose." You focus on you. Let Yahweh work on everyone else. Stop trying to convert fellow believers to your camp on a particular topic. As I like to say, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, not others with pride and arrogance. You can have differences. In fact, it's expected. And you can give your concerns in those differences. But it's not your job to convince someone they're wrong. We're all right on something and we're all wrong on something. Yeshua will straighten us all out when He returns. But that's just it. Unity of belief will only happen when Yeshua returns. He will be the one to set us all straight. This happens when He brings the two sticks back together, uniting the kingdom back together in truth under His kingship. It's all found here in Ezekiel 37, starting in verse 15. "The word of Yahweh came to me, Son of man, take a stick of wood and write on it, belonging to Judah, and the Israelites associated with him. Then take another stick of wood and write on it, Ephraim's stick, belonging to Joseph, and all the house of Israel associated with him. Join them together into one stick, so they will become one in your hand. When your countrymen ask you, won't you tell us what you mean by this? say to them, this is what sovereign Yahweh says. I am going to take the stick of Joseph, which is in Ephraim's hand, and of the Israelite tribes associated with him, and join it to Judah's stick, making them a single stick of wood, and they will become one in my hand. Hold before their eyes the sticks you have written on, and say to them, this is what sovereign Yahweh says. I will take the Israelites out of the nations where they have gone. I will gather them from all around and bring them back into their own land. I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel. There will be one king over all of them, and they will never again be two nations or be divided into two kingdoms. They will no longer defile themselves with their idols and vile images, or with any of their offenses, for I will save them from all their sinful backsliding, and I will cleanse them. They will be my people, and I will be their God. My servant David will be king over them, and they will all have one shepherd. They will follow my laws and be careful to keep my decrees. They will live in the land I gave to my servant Jacob, the land where your fathers lived. They and their children and their children's children will live there forever, and David, my servant, will be their prince forever. I will make a covenant of peace with them. It will be an everlasting covenant. I will establish them and increase their numbers, and I will put my sanctuary among them forever. My dwelling place will be with them. I will be their God, and they will be my people. Then the nations will know that I, Yahweh, make Israel holy, when my sanctuary is among them forever. What many miss about these verses is how this happens right at the time of the resurrection. This is when Yeshua brings them back together, as seen with all the tribes coming back together with the 144,000 in Revelation chapter 7. Consider the timing given in Ezekiel 37, just 3 verses before. Verse 12. Therefore prophesy and say to them, this is what sovereign Yahweh says. O my people, I am going to open your graves and bring you up from them. I will bring you back to the land of Israel. Then you, my people, will know that I am Yahweh, when I open your graves and bring you up from them. I will put my spirit in you, and you will live, and I will settle you in your own land. Then you will know that I, Yahweh, have spoken, and I have done it, declares Yahweh. So, true unity in the faith, I'm talking in what we believe, happens at the time of the resurrection. That's when we all come together in the true faith under Yeshua with the Torah written on our hearts. Right now, there can only be unity in love despite our differences in the faith. Thus, Yeshua's words, John 13:35. By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. Love. In fact, as odd as it sounds, I believe the Spirit allows us to hold separate views to specifically test our love for one another. At our last Shavuot gathering, I had one of the men from our fellowship come to me and tell me how much he enjoyed the day and how cool it was that he could discuss differences with others and hear their perspective just the same and not feel judged or threatened because of those differences. Now that is unity, in my opinion. That is the unity Yeshua is looking for from all of us. A willingness to love and respect despite our differences. Not unity in what we believe, but rather unity in how we believe. That is the unity Yahweh is looking from all of us at this time until His Son returns. Remember, it's not unity in what we believe, but rather unity in how we believe. Love. That is the true test of a believer. This is the ultimate for all of us. It's where we learn to grow together despite all of our differences. Please don't ever forget that. Well, that's all I have. Think about it. Pray about it. But more than anything, be a doer of the word and not a hearer only. Until next time, Shalom.